Hi, Abhishek. How are you? Welcome to our next session of walking through some of our AI concepts. I think our goal today, we did talk about hooks earlier, and we did talk about how to brainstorm with AI and how to generate documents. This time, I think we want to talk about something else. One
Yeah.
of the common experience across industry that I have seen is that outside of Lovable, people are not able to make great UIs, right? And what that means is that people are right now blocked by the capability or incapability, how your AI typical UI is incapable of actually seeing, viewing the UI. So I think today we want to talk a little bit about, let's see if you have, how have you solved that problem? How have I solved that problem? Then I'm going to jump right into it. Let me
Yeah.
quickly tell you what's on my screen and then show you what I have been doing to make my UI visible to AI.
Mhm.
Now, we already know that I have been using Claude Code for some time, and one of the common things is that it's so text-based that you can't really give any other rich format as a input, or so people think. And that's
Yeah.
why I want to quickly show you this setup. I have Claude Code running over here. It's running in a directory where I'm writing a landing page for one of the Incubate's agentic services. Here is it's running on localhost 5174. It's a simple React project. Here you see it in the browser. So the application is running in the browser. Here it is. And I have actually worked on it. I have iterated over it for a few times, but I can still see there are a small UI issues. Like, I don't know how this blue band, should it look like this over here or not? Or is this color scheme right or not? Or even better, what if I just wanted my AI, which in this case is Claude Code, I just want to ask whether it can review my design or not, and what does it think about when it reviews it. So my typical way to go over here is clicking on screenshot. I use any Chrome based. I For this specific feature, I end up using Microsoft Edge, and yeah, I do end up using Microsoft Edge every once in a while. The world is changing. So
Mhm.
I'm going to click on capture full page. And I like it because it allows me to like capture a full page screenshot, and I can just directly copy it from over here. And I think the magic in Claude Code is that in my command prompt, in my Claude Code, I can do Control V on my Mac. It's taking time, and we'll see in a second that it actually pasted the entire image over there. So we see image one over here. Image one is attached. It's showing as this. But then we can say here is a screenshot of the UI that the app has rendered. Like an expert, let's say visual UI designer, can you review the web page and give me your 2 cents on the design? Right? Now, I'm going to do this. It's going to now start reading the image and start thinking about it and maybe give me a little. I could have said that, why don't you save
Recommendation.
it in a file? Yeah, I could ask for recommendation. I could even say put it in a file, Markdown file called design roadmap, and it would have done that too. But yeah,
Yep.
this is one of the ways I've been doing it. I wonder, have you come across similar scenarios, and have you done this, Abhishek, yourself?
Mhm. Yeah, so whenever I work with UI, I think 80 to 90% of the times this gets a job done for me too. Like just
Mm.
grabbing a screenshot, putting it up, or just giving the file path and asking Claude to read it. That gets the job done. But it does still have some limitations. Like you can't actually interact with the browser. So let's say if I had to work with a form or a certain hover animation, or if I wanted to get details about my how my app is performing on the browser, this was not doing it for me for those use cases. And that's when I actually came across this nice MCP server from the Google Chrome dev team. And what they basically built was like they exposed the entire Chrome browser API via multiple different tools and wrapped it all up in MCP server. So I can now just connect it to my Claude Code or any tool. I just prefer Claude Code, and it can literally do everything that you want. I am using it quite often these days, mostly for performance and accessibility stuff. But yeah, it's really cool to look at.
Wow. So why don't we do that? Let's quickly see what this has done, and then maybe you can take over and show how you've been using your MCP. to what you're saying is not just for screenshots, but because it is browser sort of MCP is connecting with a browser, you should be able to use it for many more things than just looking at the UI. Let's maybe have a look at it. But here we go, right? I added an image and it actually did give us quick what's working well and what we can improve, areas of improvement. I created like a document out of it, and once we have created a document, you can also go ahead and then I'm gonna hit Control O to see what the content of the document was, and we then can just go through one thing at a time. So we can maybe ask that, hey, why don't you go ahead and change spacing and rhythm? So I can just say, or rather, right? Still do what it needs to do. But yeah, why don't you take the control and show us how your MCP has been working?
Yep. So let me share my screen quickly. And if you see over here, I just have our blog, the Incubate blog. I have intentionally visited a 404 here with the Chrome
Hmm.
Dev tool. And I had actually asked it to fetch the performance details. So it's nothing but a simple MCP command. I simply asked
Hmm.
it that, hey, get me the details for this URL. What's the LCP? So it just went in. It first navigated to the page which opens up this headless Chrome, and then it has started looking at the UI of how it
Hmm.
behaves. And you'll see that it also navigated to our main site by visiting home for some reason, because that page was a 404. And now we can see that it came back with the LCP, and also it gives us some recommendations. A very cool thing about this is that the number of tools that this exposes is like huge. So from very basic click, close, navigate, all of that, you also have advanced things like emulating devices, evaluating screens, evaluating scripts, so you can
Oh,
arbitrarily
wow.
run JS code and do stuff. Filling forms, always super handy. Looking at console, looking at network request. Also the hover animation thing I was talking about. And one of my favorites is the performance analysis. So not only analyzing but also starting, stopping traces, looking at them. So yeah, the list is just like huge. You can very well even run full automation test scenarios here. But the only problem I feel right now for a day-to-day usage is that it's a little bit slow. So
Oh,
that's the only challenge I've been facing.
okay. So before, you know what, I may have an answer to how that little bit slow thing we can take care of, but I already see it and I see it as quite a groundbreaking thing because what I can already imagine is that I can control my browser. I can tell
Yeah.
it to do things like as if it was automation. I'm assuming I can just put my Gherkin scripts over here
Yep,
directly
yep,
and tell it
definitely.
to go visit URLs and do things. I definitely like to try that a little bit when I get a chance. But as I do that, now what we are saying
Mhm.
is, could you also read the console logs so I can get the
Yeah.
errors and start? And most probably, you know what? Wow, my imagination is going wild now. I can almost, with as my Gherkin scripts are being executed, I can start putting the console logs also if I find
Yeah.
errors over there. So that'd be awesome. Could you quickly show us the setup? Is the MCP names Chrome Dev Tools?
Yep. So
Okay.
it's just called Chrome DevTools, and all it needs is the npx installation.
MPX
It
command.
does not need any keys. It does not need any specialized tools. It does not even actually need Chrome to be installed. So if you run npx Chrome DevTools MCP, it will just install a headless version of Chrome, start it up, and it will directly control it from your AI agent, Claude, for us. Another
Wow, and
super
how
useful
where
thing.
did you
Good.
install it from? Could you quickly
Yep,
show us where the like
yep, yep,
is
yep.
it just Google's? No, no,
Oh
I was
yeah,
just saying online. So what's the web page, and maybe our viewers can just
yep.
take
I
it from
think if
there.
we just search for Chrome DevTools MCP, we should land on. Okay, maybe because I'm visiting on a headless browser, and this was literally controlled by a robot, so it makes sense to ask this question. Okay, yep, this is the site where they broke the news, and this is fairly recent. Well,
Okay.
not as recent now for AI terms, but yeah, they have a nice demo. They talk about all of the things that you can do and
Okay.
some
And does it have
example.
instructions on how to install it?
Yeah, just a simple, you just need to add this to your JSON for Claude or your cursor or
Awesome.
VS Code. Everywhere it will work.
Awesome. This sounds actually quite exciting. But I
Hmm.
think the reason I said maybe I know what uh, could solve the speed issues, because one of the things that I've been trying is anti-gravity, Google's anti-gravity, and it seems that this MCP tool could have been just a side product of
Yeah.
using anti-gravity.
And now that you mention it, it actually came out like 1 or 2 weeks after anti-gravity. So
Oh, really?
maybe they might have built it for anti-gravity and then decided to publish it.
Could be, could be. So let me quickly, I have anti-gravity as well. Let me quickly see if I can pop it up. I was actually using it for the same thing. So let me
It has been
share my
making
screen.
like a lot of buzz on
Yeah,
the internet. Yeah. Anti-gravity, you
yeah.
hear it everywhere.
Unfortunately, for me, it has been a little bit too much. I like the simplicity of Claude Code and being able to focus on something. I know agents can work on 10 things parallelly and can do a lot of stuff, but at least my brain doesn't. It
Yeah.
works with one thing at a time. So,
Mm.
but here, see, I had used anti-gravity earlier, and it has actually taken the
Oh,
sort
so
of pictures by itself. So
so these are like grabbed by the tool
But
itself?
yeah, so let me show you
Oh,
that
okay.
my marketing landing page is running at here. Can you review the design and tell me top two things I should change for higher engagement, visual design? Now, as I'll do that, I have two screens, so we'll have to check where it opens. But my assumption is that as soon as I say this, it'll open Chrome browser by itself, and it starts controlling it and start taking screenshots and all. I see it's
Hmm.
thinking a few things over here. But now that we are talking about it, other thing, I don't know if you have seen this, Abhishek. I think there's just different modes, and I think we'll keep looking at the same project, same URL is now being edited over here. If Chrome browser opens up, I'll bring it on the screen. Let's see if it actually just started making the code change, it seems.
I think it was able to visit the page internally.
Maybe, or use the older
Yeah.
screens. But so other thing that I really like is if we have, so if you're using anti-gravity and
Hmm.
it creates a walkthrough document for you like this as you're doing it, so you can tell it. So this is in many ways so close to spec-driven development, right? Where you can tell it, give me a design review, and you could do this. And as it gives you a design review, you can start talking about things right over here and start
Oh,
commenting. This,
that's
yeah,
nice.
seems like an older screenshot. Go back, you can say, where did we lose our walkthrough? Right here. You can come and you can say hero section overhaul. You can say keep the same color scheme though. So you can read the entire document as a plan and comment per line and then say, I'm ready to go and start
And then it
moving
starts
forward.
executing.
Yeah, so it starts executing, but it's still for me. I don't know. It's still so many changes, and I don't get to see it as they are happening. So even right
Mm.
now, I didn't ask. If you look at my prompt, I did not ask anywhere to make
Make the
changes, but it
changes.
started. Yeah, it started
Mm.
making changes, and so that's definitely one of the issues that I have
I think
with anti-gravity. Yeah.
they have improved the planning part, but they have not really disconnected it. Like they don't have a separate planning phase, maybe. It's just
Maybe,
like,
maybe.
yeah,
This is, and it does. So what happens is at the end of the day, it's gonna still ask me to do the changes, but it then ask me means it's going to ask for an approval to apply all the changes,
yeah,
and it'll apply it. So I don't know if, but see, accept all. So I can say yeah, accept all the changes. What files it has changed, we can have a look at that too. But I think point being that it has already made those changes. What I like
yeah,
about Claude is if I start ID integration, I can ask every change is actually approved. So I get to look
yeah.
at it, and the value of seeing the code changing is not in the fact that it is asking for my approval, so I'm in control. But the value is that now I have a mental model of which files are
How
changing,
things work,
what
yeah,
is changing. Yeah. Now at this time, it has made so many changes that I may not
yeah.
actually even look at it.
I think we might spend more time reading this than actually making
Then,
the
yeah.
changes ourselves.
Changes, exactly. And because we're talking about browser control and we're talking about screenshots and all, the other thing that I started doing is I wonder if you have seen Claude recently launched browser extension as well. Have you seen
Oh,
this?
no, I haven't tried it. Like, can
Oh,
it
you're gonna love
access
it.
the DOM and stuff?
Oh yeah, so I can say that right here is a landing page that I have on the left. Can you take a few screenshots and audit the design for better, let's this time just for the sake of marketing engagement,
Hmm.
let's say, and to optimize the not funnel rate, right? And I think what it's going to do is, and it was quite awesome actually. Yesterday, so it first gave me a plan, take an initial screenshot of landing
Nice.
page, read the page structure. I'm gonna say, okay, let's approve the plan. Yesterday, what I did was I had, see, it's taking a screenshot, and it'll take screenshots and it'll scroll it and all of it.
This
Um,
is already way faster.
oh yeah,
Immediate
and so,
almost.
and yesterday, what I did was I actually told, so I had a presentation created, slide by
Mm-hmm.
slide, and I had used Slidev for it. So
Mm-hmm.
every arrow key would go. I said, "Can you review my presentation?" And it went from like 20 slides. It would take 20 screenshots, and then it gave me
Mm-hmm.
that. And then I told it that, hey, you know what? Now that you have reviewed it also and you have feedback for it, I am actually, developing it using Claude Code. Can you create a prompt to apply the recommendation? So it created a big prompt with then I gave it. So yeah, there you go. And
Yeah,
it
out of
took all the screenshots and all of it as it did it. So let's see how many screenshots it took. But yeah, I think a couple of things you could do to have your AI see the work that
actually
you're
look
doing, like
into it. Yeah.
actually see it. What we did right now is we looked at how I could copy and paste. Let me unshare my screen, but one option was being able to copy and paste screenshots directly to whatever. And I'm assuming that Cursor does that, Claude Code does that,
Yeah.
Copilot does that everywhere. Not just keep looking into the code, but hey, this is my UI. Can you make the UI look better? And I have seen that what happens is that at the end of the day, these models are text in, text out.
Yeah.
So for you to do this, you first put an image in that would give you text out and use that text to do coding. So that becomes that text. So your review of image, you can put that review in
Yeah.
your
True.
next prompt for the, yeah, and then that review you can use to make the UI better. Same thing. So we did image pasting. Then I
The
think
MCP.
looking at that MCP was awesome. A little bit slow, but I think I can already see like if we have access to Chrome's
Yeah.
multiple tools like accessibility, performance, so
Errors.
Lighthouse,
Yeah.
performance, errors, I think we could do so much automation. I'm not sure if we are going to have all the brain power available in the world to control this and actually make the tooling happen. And then third was we used anti-gravity.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it can control the browser and it can do a lot of things, but it ends up making a lot of changes. So
Doing.
that's
Yeah.
where I have a little bit of a reservation, but I really like the first time when I use anti-gravity, the kind of impact that it made on designs was quite unbelievable. And then we tried, I think if you haven't used Claude's
Yeah. This
extension,
extension.
definitely,
I think
definitely try using that.
right now, like just looking at all four of these things, based on like my needs, I would just go for like Cloud Code with the MCP server and then this extension. I think combining both of these can give like really fast feedback and like detailed inputs for the prompts. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna try it out.
Awesome. The extension, MCP extension or Claude extension? I mean, MCP with
The
Claude
browser.
or
So
browser extension?
I'm already using the Claude with MCP thing, but the
Hmm.
Claude browser extension I haven't even tried so far. I feel like both of them together can play really well.
Really well, yeah. Well, awesome. So I think that was a nice talk, and both of us got to learn. I'm gonna try using the MCP. You try using the browser extension, and maybe
Extension.
exchange our notes later.
Yep.
Awesome. Was nice catching up with you, Abhishek. Let's do this again. And for our viewers, keep seeing our YouTube channel, keep monitoring it, and hopefully you'll see a new video drop in a few weeks.
Thank
Bye.
you.